Here's a story from Grandpa for my three favorite little girls, Emma, Ayla, and Audrey. Well, it's Thanksgiving. And what says Thanksgiving more than a book about a farting turkey? If you don't think farting is funny, then this may not be the book for you. I was going to recommend another Thanksgiving book from our past, but when I looked over the list of 219 books we've read so far, I was surprised to find that I haven't read any other Thanksgiving books at all. The closest we've come was Turkey Trick or Treat, but that was for Halloween. So you're stuck with this one, and here it is, Taylor the Tooting Turkey. Written and illustrated by Humor Heals Us. So just a note before we get going, when you look at the pictures in this book, you'll sometimes see clouds of blue or yellow or green, and those represent the bad smells of a fart. So just so you know what you're looking at. Now the story begins. Hi, I'm Taylor. People call me Taylor the Tooting Turkey. I'm not sure why. Everyone toots. Tooting is so common that there are different kinds of toots. In fact, there are so many, I'd have to explain them all to you or you wouldn't believe me. And in the pictures, Taylor is just tooting up a storm. One type of toot is called the silent killer. This one comes out so fast and quiet with no sound whatsoever, yet stinks more than all the other toots. It's the kind of toot where, if it's done in public, you're so glad it's silent. If you accidentally get a whiff of your own fatal toot, you feel embarrassed, even though no one will ever really know it was you. Oh my, who let it rip? Sneaky, sneaky. Another type of fart is the classic loud scream. This happens when your stomach makes the weirdest, loudest sound. You can feel the gas moving in your stomach, trying to find its way out, while your stomach has that uneasy feeling. Then, the glorious moment when you can toot it out, loud and proud, you get a feeling of satisfaction and accomplishment. Ah, total liberation. Another type is the slow and easy. This toot only happens while with other people. You don't want to alert others about your toot or stink up the entire place, so you try to keep it low-key by letting it out slow and easy. By subtly releasing the toot, you feel good about successfully releasing your toot in public without anyone realizing it. Who just tooted? Ew, not me, gross. OMG, it stinks. I can totally smell it too. Another one is a false alarm. This is not a satisfying toot. A false alarm toot is the kind when you thought you needed to make a poop, so you run for the bathroom, only to realize that you didn't need to poop, you just needed to toot. It was just a toot in disguise, darn it. And then there is the laughing toot. This is probably the most embarrassing toot of all toots. You're talking with a friend laughing when a toot escapes, and it's not a quiet one either. So now you're stuck with an awkward need to laugh it off and hope no one will remember when you accidentally tooted ever. There's also the exercising toot. This one happens when you're, well, exercising. It's a toot that slowly escapes with every step you take, like the slow release of a balloon. In order to not let it all go, you might intentionally exercise slower. Ooh, did you just toot? Then there's the bathtub toot. This is the only toot you can see. You don't actually see the toot, but what you see is the bubbles. The bathtub toot can be either single or multiple bubbles, depending on how big the toot is. The crowd toot. The crowd toot got its name by its very potent odor, strong enough to make quite a few people look around. The trick here is not to identify the toot, but the tooter. This is almost impossible unless the tooter panics and starts a fit of coughing, or starts staring at the ceiling or the sky as though something up there fascinates him, in which case he is the one. Super common. Did you smell that? Who cut the cheese? So you see, you may have experienced one or more of these kinds of toots, which makes you a tooting turkey too. You see, he's tooting out. The smells or the clouds are forming the word toot. I'd like to see that happen. Toots are healthy for you. If you don't believe me, just ask my friend, Frank the Farting Flamingo. Farting is so common that there are different kinds of farts, and Frank the farting flamingo begins to tell the same story that Taylor the tooting turkey did at the beginning of this story. And here at the end of the book, we have a drawing of Taylor the tooting turkey wearing a space helmet because he's made a toot so big that it's launched him into outer space. And that's the end of the story. When I was a little boy, like most little boys, I thought farts were tremendously funny, especially when an adult did it and was embarrassed by it, especially when it happened in church. I can't begin to tell you why they were so funny, but they were. I guess you have to be a kid to understand. Always remember that Grandpa loves you, even when you toot, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.